right. Well, what's happening here is that, of course, welcome to the African Ancestral Wall. Leah Zardi, that's welcome in the Gruni language. So you hear Quaba a lot. But
Right.
if you want to hear what they're saying there, then that's cool. And then you got Jamaica, because everybody seems to love Jamaica here. You got the Ghana flag, the Ethiopian flag. We usually have the red, black, and green one over there. Got a little phrase. And that flag right here is they told me, but I forgot. It's rolling real fast. Everybody has one. It's real fast. You look down, look up.
So you want to start here or?
Well, we can start right here. This is long back.
Oh, okay. So when did you get the idea of building this wall?
Well, I built the wall 20 right at the beginning of 2017. But the reason I did it is because since 2008 or whatever, I've been going to schools, in the area. But there's so many schools and there's so many villages that one day I just said, you know what? I thought about it. I said, I have the space. If I can just plaster one of these walls and then have different artists come in and paint, then I can just have field trips and let the kids come.
Oh, that's
And so that's what I've been doing since then. It's easier on me, and the teachers tend to get their undivided attention that way.
Queen Taria, she's in my song.
Apoko Kanyani. That's a Fra woman. She's from the north of the country of Ghana. She's well known for having used that pestle to actually pound the head of the slave raiding leader. When she killed him and they wounded a couple others, that made that an inhospitable place to come look for Africans. So she's a hero in that area. And Queen T, you know her from the 18th dynasty. And remember, this was designed for the students. So when you see who I chose, it's because of something I wanted the students to know. So this is when I introduced the students, to the fact of Egypt being a black civilization, of course, that doesn't vibe with anything they've learned and seen or anything else. Watch your step there, man. I see my boy didn't. This way. Yeah, my boy didn't do what he was supposed to do this morning.
Marcus Garvey.
And then we got Marcus Garvey, front and center, up your mighty race, accomplish what you will. I say I'm a Garveyite, believing that you gotta build something with consequence here, so we can do consequence everywhere. This is Kwame Nkrumah. The children will always know Nkrumah, but I have this little quote up here because I want the teachers and all to realize that he read Hegel, Marx, all of the big brain Europeans, but the one that really drove him was reading philosophy and opinions of Marcus Garvey. So since they all know Nkrumah, but they won't know Garvey, that'll put Garvey into some kind of context.
Yeah, look it up, right?
Yeah, and I say, well, if our big man got his stuff from this guy, he really must be something. So Black Star Line, all those things they have in Ghana, all that came from Garvey. Jonas Carbu, we're in a place called New Ningo. So that is giving some honor and praise to the people who started the place. Tejangma the first was the first chief here in New Ningo. So we're not in Prampram, we're actually in a place called New Ningo. Over 100 years ago, for New Ningo, they split off from Old Ningo.
You got room for more paintings right here.
You got all the walls over here.
Okay.
I've been planning on doing some kind of a village scene or something, but I still haven't. This time of year is when I got to go through and clean them all up, because the 18th I got this, so all of this.
So what do you use to clean them?
Well, not the pictures, I just wash those and that's retained from time to time. You see at the bottom, you see the clear.
Yeah.
See, that's some clear stuff that works really well.
To keep it
really keeps it.
But
I need to do it all because what happens is you get all of this stuff. Some older stuff because we got to clean that all everywhere. So anyway, I start with the Eve and I let the children know what parents of humanity, of course, going 200 to 300,000 years ago. Homo sapiens sapiens, which is us, started. And we, started in that part of Africa. And about 70,000 years ago, people began to leave Africa to populate the rest of the world. So the point being for the students is 2/3 of human history. It's really more like 300. So it's really like 3/4 of human history. No one was outside the African continent. All the humans were in Africa.
Yes.
There was nobody in
Yes.
So that's accounts for a lot of the diversity that people don't recognize. Chinua Achebe, one of the great writers, Igbo writers of Nigeria. People mainly know him for Things Fall Apart. So you said Asa Hilliard, you may know him, one of our great historians. Yeah, Asante was his mother, Virgisu, who struggled against the British and kept her men motivated. Warrior Queen Dedan Kimathi, you may remember when they used to call us Mau Mau. You just Mau Mau. Mau Mau was a British, this is in Kenya. That's just a British derogatory name for what they call themselves was the Kikuyu Land Freedom Army. And of course they went in the bush and the hills and the valleys and the forests to fight the British who were taking their land. Queen Nzinga, the great warrior queen out of Angola, trying to maintain her sovereignty, going back 450 years now. So that was one of our early fighters against the Portuguese. Ajete, he was one that, the Africans fought in World War II. And then after they won, they were supposed to get their retirements and their due and everything. And they didn't get it. So they marched on the Christiansburg Castle down here, and this guy was shot. That sparked their far right. And that was the beginning of the end of the colonial order. Maurice Bishop, I think you remember in Grenada, a new friend of mine, Ronald Reagan, went down there and bombed the place, only really because they saw the brothers getting each other together. They didn't want a black Castro down there, so they just ended that whole thing. These Amazon warriors, now there's a movie out called Woman King. These are the sisters, Nomitong, which means our mothers, who fight against the French. One of the David Wilmot Blyden, one of the fathers of Pan-Africanism, intellectual fathers of Pan-Africanism out of St. Thomas, Virgin Islands. Deco, this is where I have to explain to the children what apartheid is, because they've never heard of it. That just gives you an idea of what they're teaching us or not teaching us. So after we go to apartheid, then I can tell about how he was knocked out by the anti-apartheid forces. Sonia Ali, founder of one of our great West African empires, of Songhai, Ghana, Mali, Songhai being the biggest. Bahanzan, also the homie, which has been struggling to keep this kingdom free from the French. Miriam Makeba, great songstress, protest songstress, kicked out of her country for 3 decades, the great Shikanta Joe, who more than anyone else demonstrated black Africanness in ancient Egypt. Dessalines, of course, the first real leader after the Haitian Revolution. Of course, he was a right-hand man at Toussaint Louverture. Changed the name back to Haiti, which is what the natives called it, not Saint Domingue, which is French call it Saint Domingue. The natives call it Haiti. They pretty much exterminated natives. When the Africans took over, they had to get taste to give people the name back. That's how it came back to Haiti. George, this one's funny because sometimes the children raise their hand, yeah, I know him. I'm like, who is he? First president of the United States. That's kind of history for you. It's not the same guy.
Not even the same.
Julius Nyerere, of course, one of our great East African leaders in Tanzania, one of the ones started OAU, and of course, kind of had his socialism with an African twist. And from Mamu, he was strident anti-British in terms of his culture. He's trying to stop the cultural onslaught of the British on the Africans. Of course, this is where I try to explain to them something about the scope of our slave experience in the U.S. Of course, they're trying to bring us out. Samora Machel out of Mozambique. He's a revolutionary fighter, a nurse by training. Of course, they were in the 25th dynasty Egypt. He was 714. But we had already been through 24 dynasties. So you imagine how long we've been in the game. Founded the 25th dynasty. And the other 24 are behind us. So we're still it's still 714 BCE. Shaka, the great Zulu king, who was a little bit imperialist in his own right, but took enough power to he was giving people insulate them at least extent possible. Of course, Fannie Lou Hamer, who was sick and tired of being sick and tired. This is when I tell the children about the fact that when I was a boy, my parents basically were not able to vote. You know how they had it set up. Took Bay Street, coming out of a place called Orche, back in Yeah, you see, in fact, you guys are just talking about.
Kasi. Is the Kasi, is that related to Togbu? Togbu?
And Togbu is just like uncle, father, or king.
Okay.
Yeah.
All right.
Everything slows to a crawl, so 2020, 2021, we're
When do you expect to have it finished?
not too good. Well, you know, it's all about the Benjamins.
Okay, yeah.
So,
Well, that's
unfortunately, one of the sisters who's sitting up there now, Carolyn, you know, she had the big
Yeah, I remember
hat
the
on,
smile,
Carolyn,
yeah.
the smile, yeah. She just came and gifted me a nice clump last week. That's why I ran out here.
Oh, that's
That's why I
nice.
ran out here and got the Tylers on board. I had
little
to
by
go
little.
buy it before it runs through my pocket. So yeah, we're getting there on this, man. We get this tile done. And
Okay.
yeah, that's okay. Around. So yeah, I'm gonna keep all my computers and printers and things over this little cubby over here, and it's gonna be more this bathroom back there, bathroom on that side. Looking good.
It's all brick.
It's gonna
All
be.
brick.
Oh man, I'm telling you, we got some tonnage in this sucker, and so it's gonna be primarily digital in that we're gonna be. You know,
You've seen a whole lot of growth up here, man.
man, when I moved here, this place there was not a single dwelling anywhere except for on the beach down there. None of this was there. Nothing.
I saw a picture. I guess maybe on Facebook. It was an older picture.
Of me?
Yeah, of
Here?
you here, and wasn't nothing else around.
Yeah, I was standing over by the house.
How long you been here now?
I bought this land 20 years ago. 2003.
And you just been taking your time.
Yeah, well, you know, I lived in the city for the first, I built a little house there. I was single. So I'd come out here and hang out 3 or 4 days.
Okay.
Then I was renting a house in Accra near the university. So that's where I started off. I started off at the university. I'm talking to those students.
So how did you get them to fill this up? They run a hose up here? Oh, okay,
I got a pipe here that will run it from a borehole that we dug. So
This is amazing, man.
try to start that up next few days.
How far did you have to go down on your borehole?
More than 10,000. Yeah, it's digging, man. Get down. And even now, you know, it comes when it comes. But it's pretty good, you know. I mean, I was supplemented with the government water, yeah. But man, they got to charge me so much.